One of the best and most profitable ways to scale any e-commerce brand is by selling more to your existing customers. That's mainly because you already pay the cost to acquire them, so it costs you absolutely nothing to get them to buy from you, which makes the repeat purchases way more profitable than the initial ones. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact flows that you need to set up for your e-commerce brand to make sure that you're maximizing your LTV and profit per customer, again using email klaviyo flows. So this is going to be a guide to the retention flows. Again, we're going to be talking about 3 most important retention flows. You can set up dozens of them, to be honest, but these 3 are the main ones that you should have in place, aside from the post-purchase one, which is like the base for an e-com brand as well. But the goal of the post-purchase flow isn't really to sell a lot, but if you still want to learn more about this flow and how to set it up, I've got another video, so make sure that you watch it as well. But these are the 3 main flows I'm gonna be focusing on today. So it's gonna be replenishment, customer win back, and 1-year anniversary. Now let's start with replenishment. So this flow in itself, it won't be applicable to every single e-commerce brand. This is mainly for brands that have a product that can be replenished, just like the name suggests. Like if you're selling some kind of electronic devices, it might be hard for people to buy them every single month. If they are, unless they're like a big fan of the specific device and just want to keep stocking it in the room. But aside from that, I don't see any other reason why they would do it. It's a completely different story when it comes, for example, to supplements or any kind of food or cosmetics. These are the goods that people can replenish. They can be buying them over and over again every single month. And this is exactly where this flow is gonna come in super helpful and super profitable. The trigger is placed order, and I'm gonna show you how to set up all of those flows in klaviyo later on as well. So I just want to cover the structure first, and then I'm going to show you how to set them up in klaviyo. The trigger is going to be placed order, and by the way, this is going to be the trigger for all of the post-purchase flows or retention flows. You're waiting 15 to 25 days. Now you're going to be waiting this amount period based on how quickly you ship out the products and how much it usually takes for people to see the results, right? Because if it takes them 10 days to see results, then this flow should be way faster, and you should be even sending it on day 5. Same goes if you're, for example, selling samples of your supplement or cosmetics. Then instead of waiting 15 days, usually samples last 5 to 7 days. So in this case, you should be start sending this flow 3 to 4 days after someone received the order, so you can make sure that they continuously use the product after using the full sample. But overall, for most brands, it's gonna be between 15 to 25 days, assuming that you're selling 1 month supply of your product. Email number 1 is gonna be talking about just like a simple reminder, like, hey, we saw you bought our stuff. If you're running out of it, make sure that you replenish. And usually you also want to upsell them to a subscription, because then it's gonna be more monthly recurring revenue for you and your brand. For the other email, we're gonna wait 3 to 5 days and then send the second one, where you're gonna be kinda selling them a little bit more. The first one acts like a soft reminder. The second one, on the other hand, is a little bit more salesy. It's going to be selling them and showing price breakdown day by day. This is one of my tricks and my favorite tricks that I like to do. Because if, for example, if you sell a supplement that costs $60 per bottle, which is 1 month supply, a lot of people are gonna think like, yeah, that's a lot of money, I'm not sure if I need it, or maybe, it's working well, but it's too much for me. But you break it down to the daily cost of using it, like, for example, $2 per day, and then it turns out that it's cheaper than coffee or anything else. And they're like, oh yeah, actually, instead of buying coffee, which, for example, coffee maybe isn't the greatest example, but if they're using something that is even harming their health, and they're spending more than $2 per day on that, they're gonna, you can kind of change their mind and be like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of myself and spend it on this instead. So this is one of my favorite tricks. And then you go even further, so you do the price breakdown per day, or like daily price for the product, and then you once again upsell to the subscription, which usually is cheaper, so it's even less than what you initially broke down for those people. And this email works very, very well. Then again, you want to wait between 3 to 5 days before sending email number 3, and in this email you want to mainly talk about your USP, benefits, and what is you versus other comparison. Now, you're doing it mainly because at this point the customer is aware of the problem they have, of the solution you have, and chances are that probably the solution works. Like, assuming you're selling a good product, your solution worked, it helped people solve the problem, so it's not like the problem will disappear forever. If someone, for example, has acne, it's not gonna disappear just like that after 1 month. They will need to keep using the products, but at this stage they're probably thinking like, okay, do I need to buy this from this brand? Maybe gonna try some other one because it's cheaper, or maybe I like these guys more. So you need to kind of be reminding them about why they bought in the first place and what are your USP. So for example, the ingredients you're using, the pricing, maybe you have some scientific data, which is even better if you have like scientifically backed recipe whatsoever, just to tell people like, hey, you can try others, but our recipe is the best because XYZ, and you tell them why. And then again, you absolutely subscription. So this is the perfect replenishment flow. We've been running it for a bunch of other clients, and it's working very, very well. And we're converting a lot of first-time buyers into subscriptions, which again is a monthly recurring revenue for you, which again makes it way easier for you to scale the brand, because you're not starting the month with, let's say, 10K monthly recurring revenue. You're starting with 15K. Next month it's going to be 20K, then with 25, 30, and it's going to be like a snowball that if you keep adding on and stacking those subscriptions every single month, it's going to be a really, really big number at the end of month 12, for example, if you do this the right way. Now let's talk about the second flow, which is gonna be customer win back. Again, the trigger for the flow is gonna be the same, which is gonna be placed order. And in this flow, you're pretty much trying to prevent people from churning, okay? So if someone already bought from you and they didn't buy now, then the chances are that either they're buying from someone else or they will never buy from you or your competitor whatsoever. So kinda need to let them know like, hey, we've got, for example, new arrivals, or maybe we have a new flavor that you need to try, which is better than what we had before. You just kind of need to convince them, which I know it sounds, like a easy thing to do, but in reality it's not. Usually the angle that works best for this email is like, hey, it's been a while since you've been with us or purchased from us. Here are some of our newest arrivals. They are absolutely, going viral, so make sure you get them. Something like that. If you are not really price sensitive and you have a decent margin, you can also introduce a discount in this first email. And again, I'm usually not a big fan of discounts, but the truth is that after 45 or even 90 days, if someone didn't buy from you during that period, they are most likely about to churn. There's like 95% they would never buy from you anyways. So it's still better to make them buy and even sacrifice 5 to 10% margin than not getting them to buy at all. So that's why, again, you can add a discount if you want to, but it's not required. Then for email number 2, you're gonna wait 5 to 15 days. And by the way, these time delays are something you want to test, because some brands want to act faster. For example, we have a lot of clients in the baby niche. So in the baby niche, 3 months is a lot. Like, if you know anything about kids, if your baby is a newborn and then 3 months passed by, it's a completely different baby. I mean, that's not a completely different baby, but it has way different needs. Then again, if another 3 months passed by, it's completely different story. They need completely different things, just because the baby is developing so quickly that it has different problems, needs, and so on. And same goes for the parents. So this is why you want to test these time delays. Again, in some cases, the shorter one is going to be better, like for example, babies. But if you're selling some kind of high AOV equipment for outdoors, for gym, or maybe even electronics, then usually people aren't going to buy, new electronics like every 45 days, maybe 3 months, just to kind of add another purifier to the room, or maybe, buy some extra equipment to their gym, and so on and so on. That's why, again, all of that needs context, but most importantly, all of that needs testing, just to see which one works better for you. Same goes for the delay for the other emails, so 5 to 15 and then 5 to 15 days as well. You want to A/B test all of that. But going back to the structure of the flow, email number 2 should be talking about your best sellers, right? And I mean, when I say best sellers, I don't mean your store-wide best sellers. What you want to do is go to your Shopify analytics and then look at best sellers, but by repeat customers. I think it's called returning customers, something like that in Klaviyo. It's not gonna be first-time buyers, it's gonna be repeat customers. And you want to promote these best sellers, because in some cases we've seen it happen quite a lot of times actually, where we thought that, okay, these best sellers, they're best sellers because they're called best sellers, which is quite simple. But then it turned out that, like, yes, they are best selling, but the majority of the revenue for those best sellers was coming from new customers. And then those new customers were buying completely different product than our initial best sellers. And after we changed the product that we were promoting, we just saw way better click rates and conversions. So that's why, again, you want to go to Shopify analytics and then look at your top selling products by returning customers, by returning orders, repeat orders. And then again, you want to clarify why people bought from you in the first place. So you are doing comparison, you versus competition. And then add on incentive. Again, this is usually where I would like to add it anyways, just because I don't think this is a bad thing, because again, people are about to churn, so feel free to introduce a discount. maybe gift with purchase, maybe fixed discount, maybe tiered discount, whatever that might be, try to push it. Then for the email number 3, we usually like to make it quite urgent, so like add urgency to the email, being like, hey, your discount or incentive is about to expire, so make sure to use it right now. And if you want to, we also have subscription model, for example, which is gonna save you even more money. This is the exact structure I'm using for the customer win-back flow, so you can steal it as well. And now let's go to one of the other flows, which is 1 year anniversary. This flow is like an extended win-back flow, okay? That's at least what I like to call it, because the goal is, again, to prevent people from churning after 1 year. And again, it's gonna be a very nice way to increase your LTV, because if someone bought from you once and they didn't buy for a year and they make another purchase, it's gonna be like a nice addition to your top line revenue and nice profit for your brand. Plus, I'm using this flow specifically for the gifting angle, because I feel like whenever we mentioned anniversary, emails are performing great. Like whenever it's anniversary sale, or your birthday whatsoever, it's performing very well. Why we are not doing birthday flow? Well, mainly because we are not collecting this data from customers. If you're gonna start asking about their birthday in the pop-up, it's gonna decrease your conversion rate significantly. And until you want to use this flow, this data point of customer's birthday is not really that useful. Like really the only way you would personalize it is by having the birthday flow, which in my opinion is just not worth it, because the uplift from more conversions that you would get from the pop-up by not having this step asking for birthday is gonna outweigh the revenue you would get from the birthday flow, right? And this is kind of like a replacement for this birthday flow, where you don't need any additional data from people. You can just angle it around like, hey, it's been our first year, or like our anniversary, or it's been a year since you bought from us, something like that. Plus we have a small gift for you. And then again, free gifts with purchase, any kind of discount, tier discount, maybe a bundle, available for limited price whatsoever. Try things like that, and I bet they're gonna do very well. We have quite a lot of clients where the anniversary flow is even outperforming the win-back ones, because there are so many people who bought from them over a year ago, but they're kind of waiting. It's especially again with products that are high AOV, and usually people are having them for years before they make a switch. Electronics and kind of equipment, high AOV equipment, like again, like for outdoors, gym, whatsoever. These kind of products are where this flow comes in clutch. Then you want to wait 3 to 7 days. Usually I like to make it shorter, so 3 days, but again, you can A/B test it too. And this is gonna act like a reminder, like, hey, your anniversary gift, and I like to use this wording specifically, but your anniversary gift is about to expire. So if you don't want to miss out on your free gift, make sure you click the button here, or like click the link here and buy right now. And usually we like to make this email plain text as well, just for better deliverability, and we also like to frame it as an email from the founder, so it's even more powerful, because it's gonna be like, hey, it's name from brand, your anniversary gift is still here, or my team told me that you didn't use it. I just wanted to quickly come in and see that maybe you need some help, maybe you have any questions, but if not, make sure to use it, and that's it. So this is gonna be the last of the retention flows. And now, before I get into the Klaviyo to show you how to set them all up, one more important thing is that if you want to optimize your Klaviyo even further, with all of the flows I'm showing you how to set up, there's gonna be a free guide below this video, which is gonna be a complete Klaviyo optimization guide. We are using these strategies and this exact copy and paste A/B tests to scale a bunch of brands to 8 figures per year and further. So make sure you grab it. These are exactly copy and paste tests that we're using, so you can just take it, paste it to your Klaviyo, and see your results improve. But now let's go into Klaviyo and let me show you how to create those post-purchase flows. So again, you just go to your Klaviyo, you click on flows, create flow, and to be honest, for most of them there's gonna be a pre-made template. The only flow that doesn't have a pre-made template is gonna be the 1 year anniversary, but there's a workaround around this, so I'm gonna show it to you. So for the replenishment flow, just type in replenishment. It's really as simple as that. You call it replenishment, you can call it reminder whatsoever, but this is fine. Then you click on use template, and let me very quickly scroll up over here. So again, the trigger is going to be placed order. It's very important that you have this filter as well, because if someone placed order during those 25 days, you don't want to be asking them to replenish, because they did it on their own, and if you keep sending them emails, they can get annoyed. So make sure that you have this filter. And one more filter that I like to have, if you have any kind of subscription app, is make sure that someone is not an active subscriber. And when I say subscriber, I don't mean email subscriber, I mean product subscriber, right? So for example, if you're using Recharge has a metric that allows you to exclude people who are active subscribers in terms of the product subscription, right? So we want to exclude it from those people from this flow as well. Then again, for the time delay, you can test 15, 25. Again, all of that is gonna be adjusted based on how quickly you ship orders. If you're shipping them after 10 days, then obviously this would even go and be like 35 days, right? Again, you need to add some context to what I'm showing you to do in this video. And then if you want to run the A/B test for time delays, you just make a very quick conditional split, 50-50. I'm gonna make it bigger for you. And then you're doing this thing, which is adding different time delays. And then again, usually what I like to do is do 15 days, and then 5 days, for example, right? Or like maybe even 3 days. So on the lower end, then again 3 days, right? So the whole flow is gonna be faster or shorter time delays. Whereas for this one, I'm gonna do 5 days and then again 5 days. And then you can really go down the rabbit hole. So if the 25 days does better, then you wanna do 25 days and then again A/B test the further time delays. So that would be like, for example, 2 days versus 5 days or 1 day versus 5 days. And so on and so on. Really a lot you can test. For the email itself, you want to make sure that you have smart sending turned off. And again, for the content that you can include, you can just take a look at all of these and kind of use those angles for your brand. That was replenishment flow. Now, if you want to do the customer win-back flow, again, you would go to flows once again. You would click on create flow. You would type in customer or win-back, doesn't matter, you can do both. And then they even suggest that you do A/B test time delay, which is great, but let's just start from scratch. So customer win-back standard, delete this, use template. Obviously, it's gonna take a second to create, but then if you're using this template, same thing here, because you want to make sure you have this filter in place, but then you also want to exclude active subscriptions, especially if you run a brand where, for example, you have subscriptions available for 3-month supply. We're working with a few brands where they have an option for 1-month supply or 3-month supply. So if someone bought 3-month supply and we would send them customer win-back flow after 45 days, they still have 1.5 months of the supply available. So there's no reason to send them win-back flow and give them a discount so they add on this discount onto their order and you sacrifice margins. So keep this in mind, and again, make sure that you add the filter to exclude any active product subscribers. Then for the time delay, let's just make it 45 days, and I always suggest you deselect delay until a specific time of a day. Now, why would you deselect this? Well, if someone placed an order on your store, this is exactly when those people are active. And if you probably look at your Shopify dashboard, some orders are gonna come in at 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m. Technically they're coming every single hour, right? Unless you're like a very small store. But if you're a bigger store, you're gonna see orders coming in every single hour. So there's no reason why you would be waiting to send the email at 12 p.m. if someone bought from you at 5 a.m. or if they bought from you at 7 p.m. You want to follow the exact patterns that they're showing you, so just make it a normal time delay and don't, I never suggest you wait with this. Even if your best performing send time is, for example, 6 p.m. or 9 a.m., I still suggest you turn this off, because yes, it's the best performing one, but it's not the best performing one for everyone, okay? You can't really do the same thing with campaigns where you're sending them exactly when someone is opening. There's no option, at least for now, to do this. But with flows, you have this opportunity, so make sure that you always deselect it. And again, for the time delays or tests, you would do the same thing. So I like just to test shorter time delays, right? 5 days, 5 days, and then we would do the exact same thing. So conditional split and time delay, and yeah, you're gonna do conditional split, random sample, time delay, and again you would, for example, make it 90 days, right? And then you could do it 15 on the for all of the other flows. So again, quite longer one, which starts 3 months after someone bought from you, and it ends almost 4 months after. So it gives them a little bit more time just to kind of see if they're about to churn, or maybe they need more time, or maybe they just don't need the product quicker than that. Okay. Same thing here, I always like to turn off smart sending from my flow emails, mainly because I prefer to have it turned on for campaigns that aren't sales campaigns. But then for flows, make sure that people always go through the journey that I, made with them in mind, with their customer journey in mind, rather than sending some, I don't want to say random campaigns, but you always want to follow the structure for the flow in a way that you designed it and you came up with the angles, because then the chances of someone converting rather than churning are gonna be way, way higher. So this is how you do the technical setup in Klaviyo for this flow, and again for emails you just adjust the content. And now let me show you one last flow, which is gonna be 1 year anniversary. So you do it exactly the same at the beginning. You go to flows, create flow, and to be honest, to make it even easier, let's just make it a win-back flow. So let's just start with it as a win-back. I'm gonna name it 1 year anniversary though. Use template. We're gonna wait a second for for them to create the emails, and then for the time delay, deselect the send delay until a specific time of day. Wait, make the time delays 365 days, make the time delay for the second email 2 days, and there you go. You have a 1 year anniversary flow, which again works very, very well. I just misclicked it, but it works very, very well. Make sure that you turn off smart sending here as well. Actually, you can change the filter. For example, if someone placed order 0 times in the last, let's say 30 days, right? You can even maybe make it 15. And then again, in this flow, I would suggest that you exclude active product subscribers as well, because if someone has an ongoing subscription and you give them a discount, you're pretty much just giving away the margins. So I would just do it mainly for people who again bought from you but didn't buy anything in the last 15 or maybe even 30 days. That's honestly up to you how you want to proceed with this, but make sure that you exclude all of the active product subscribers, because otherwise you're gonna be giving away the margin. So these are the exact retention flows that you need to double your LTV and get more profit per customer. Again, if you want to optimize your Klaviyo even further, there's gonna be a free guide below this video. Make sure you download it because it's really a great resource that we're using internally to run a bunch of A/B tests for pop-ups, flows, campaigns for all of our clients, which is 7N if you go e-commerce brand. So if you want to scale your Klaviyo, improve your results, get it now. It's entirely free. But if you enjoyed this video, which I hope you did, make sure to leave the like and check out my other video, which is gonna be recommended by YouTube. Thank you. Cheers.